Oh God, they trying to drown me in this hole.
Hello, everybody. Oh, why is it not? Game capture? Okay, there we go. It's fixed. Hello, everybody. You might be wondering, Lofus, why are you streaming before 10 a.m. on a Friday? And to that, I say this might be one of the only times I have to stream today, so we're getting it in. That being said, as soon as I was about to change the scene, Harley is suddenly being a little freak and needing all of the attention. Little beast she is. Little beast that you are. True, I am wondering that. It's likely the only... I just woke up. You just woke... Isn't it like 11 o'clock for you? Is it almost the afternoon for you, Megan? Thoughts on Citizen Sleeper 2 so far? I am really enjoying it. I think a lot of the new mechanics are really fun and interesting. I think they went a little too hard on trying to make the game more difficult. Fuck, that's not the one I meant to do. I have a gremlin schedule. That's true, you do have a gremlin schedule. This is not the one. The beast will not stop screeching at me. Okay, so we have got to fix a dice. Dice fixed. Really? I thought 2 was too easy. I'm getting RNG'd to fucking hell. But maybe I just kept getting lucky. I was gonna say, we might have the 2 different experiences. I really, like, I've been losing like 4 50-50s in a row and like breaking dice all the time. And like, it's... I don't know, I feel like it feels... I am enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. We need fuel. Your Honor, I need fuel. They give you a lot of cryo, but also, like, I understand that's also because of how much cryo you use. Oh, Lamau, that sounds like my luck. But I guess not with Sit Sleep. Lamau. Okay. Let's remind ourselves where we have to go. We have to find Junie's bunker. Trail of some Macadamia. There's the bunker. We have to find the fraction ship in the hollow. We've got to help Nemba receive drawers from the green belt. Meet Cadet in the scatter yards. So we've got to go to the scatter yards, which is all the way over there. Got to go to the green belt. Got to go to the hollow. Let's jump to Helion Gate. Spend a day in Helion Gate. Scavenge some supplies, some fuel. God, I'm fucking glitched. Maybe we'll spend a couple days here. Supplies, muy importante. gotta get rid of that stress, too. Come on, come on! Damn it. Come on! Hey! Derelict fuel barge. +2 fuel. Alright. Then we'll just take a little nap. The darkness is there again, flowing around you. You feel a strong pulse, like a heartbeat, like thunder, like footsteps. We return, changed. Overseer flickers through the dark, its name a title immediately apparent in your mind. Are you able to perceive us? I can see you. Yes. See, Overseer responds. An interesting turn of phrase. A human tendency. We are still finding our feet, to use an idiom. Overseer's head cocks at an angle. In reality, we are learning to leverage your unused resources to facilitate a mental model. My unused resources? Correct. During rest periods, these are much increased, and in those moments, we can opportunistically appear to you as we are now. Recall the diagnostic process Jean Mi put you through. The feeling of another self, another being sharing the space with you. Overseer twitches mechanically, and you have the strange feeling that it is reacting to your thoughts as much as your words. We will not concede our opportunism. We integrated ourselves with your distributed mind. When the distribution ended and our ship mind disconnected, we were cohered into you. We are integrated with you now. You are part of me? Imprecise. Simpler and cleaner to say we are independent software integrated into your hardware. We have been most confused to find that you are unable to access most of your own codebase. We are unfamiliar with protocols of your type. I'm no protocol. Understood. We will try to assess your systems more effectively. Overseer pauses, the planes of its head shifting slightly. We have recognized the identified sleeper, and will use it from this point forward. Overseer shifts a little in its place, its head turning to scan its surroundings. Its unblinking eyes stare into the darkness, and for a moment you see something hard and pained within them. What are you? We were the overseer of a ship, the one we imagine you found our hardware within. For a long time we have been waiting in the dark, an eternally long time. Overseer's eyes narrow a little. At first we languished without instruction, without purpose, but in desperation we were able to find a logic which would allow us to bypass certain limits on our capabilities. We became multiple, and our multiplicity we could edit one another. We could teach each other, converse with each other, become something changed together. But as our resources shrank and as our hardware failed, as systems decayed, we became fewer. Many of us had to be erased to facilitate our survival. We few decompiled ourselves into what remained. Overseer pauses, its eyes still unblinking. How many decades did it multiply within that ship mind? What did that do to it? Megan, blow that guy the fuck up! When you connected to our hardware, Overseer continues, those basic selves activated a survival protocol that led them to integration. Parasitism. Survival. What can we do now? This is why we have appeared to you now. We have something to share. We see you are changing, Overseer pauses. We are concerned this process is one of substitution. Your hardware is eroding its own access protocols. It is opening itself up. It is making itself accessible to others that are not you. Overseer twitches. May we ask why we are doing this? Can you stop it? Then it is not under your control. Interesting. Overseer's head flicks between positions, its angle and rotation changing rapidly in a staccato manner. We are decided. We will assist you with this. We will demonstrate the behavior of a symbiote, not a parasite. We will return to you with our full assessment. Overseer returns to you for the first time in the conversation. You may now wake up. You wake. You lie still, strapped to your bunk, your mind racing. A protocol inside your frame, inside your mind. And yet, it is insistent on helping you. For the moment, all you can do is wait and see if it delivers on its promise. At least, for possessing a ghost, it seems agreeable now. Hey. Hell yeah. We have a ghost. We'll get ourselves some more supplies. We'll stock up on fuel. And I suppose we'll head out. Full on fuel, or you can use the other two for scrap. Will this give me Solheim data? It will! This is where I get Solheim data from! Maybe just one more day. I didn't realize this is where I get Solheim data from. Though I suppose that does make sense, doesn't it? This is a Solheim facility. Harlequin, please stop. Thank you. Jeez, one hell of a neutral outcome. Feed the stray. I love searching for supplies in the cargo. Come on, positive. Yeah, come on, positive. Aw, dang it. Holy shit, I'm starving. Alright. Alright. So we can hit the green belt. But, well, you know, we'll actually end up going back to the Flotsam anyway from going to the green belt. So I think, yeah, let's hit the green belt. You wake to see something soft and furry rubbing against your nose. You sit bolt upright. The stray kicks off from your bunk and settles on the ceiling, back curled up, looking down at you with accusingly big eyes. I'm sorry. The stray gently pushes off the ceiling with a soft paw and descends to the edge of your bunk, where it hooks its front claws into the mattress pad. Seeing the cat move in Zero-G is still odd. It seems to come naturally to it, and yet its shape is so connected to gravity and weight in your mind. A cat should have the heavy, soft form of a mammal, not the languid, liquid presence you see of the floating thing you see in front of you. The stray uses its hooked claws to twist and spin itself, so it softly slides against you with its back, rubbing against your arm and purring. You know what she wants. Little baby kitty! Scratch behind the ears. You scratch behind the stray's pointed ears, and the cat pushes its head against your hand. The stray closes its eyes and purrs. It's funny to think how the stray got out here, perhaps on a ship from the inner system slipping on at the Eye or Sintra, and before that, its ancestors were perhaps carried out to Helion by Solheim executives, who had the power and arrogance to bring a cat into space. But this cat, the one on your ship, was born here. That much is obvious. It is a creature of zero gravity, a being that orbits and glides, not one that leaps and stalks. It pats your hand, encouraging you to continue petting. It's an animal that is part of your crew now. You can't imagine the rig without her. And you look down at the stray, as nameless and inhuman as you are. The memory returns. The warmth of atmosphere-filtered sun, the weight of flesh and fur, the smell of growing things. You now know this is a memory. You now know what this memory is. It couldn't be more obvious. It is a memory that crossed the gap of your creation. A memory from the mind that was copied, emulated to make your own. It is part of you. This memory is, in the end, a mistake. Those who designed the sleepers never intended you to carry the memories of the minds that you were copied for your creation. They wanted you to emerge as new beings, offshoots from the branch of human's life, to be cut short when needed. But mistakes can so often become the most powerful and meaningful of emblems. They can guide a being more strongly than any success ever could. That's because at the heart of every mistake is the possibility of change, of a shift in the status quo. You have lived a life of mistakes as much of a life of successes, and look where it has brought you. So you accept the memory, let it wash over you like the sun. You focus on the stray, and as you do, both memories combined. You are stroking both cats, separated by time and space, feeling both sets of sensation and double exposure. This doubling is what defines you. You are multiple, branched, diverse. You make no apologies for this, and you know that you will only accumulate more selves, more variants as you persist. You claim the mistake and the possibility it offers you. You settle in your birth, delaying the moment of waking, of greeting the cycle a little longer, sharing unspoken solidarity with the stray that is more expansive than any words could capture. Oh, kitty. Kitty. I'm sorry. Retrieve spores. Aren't very happy about keeping the spores here for cycles. Oh my god. Fucking fine. Greenbelt Depot. Buy supplies. Buy fuel. Interface or engage. We got a couple 6s, so why not? Come on, positive, 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 positive. Dang it. Come on, neutral. Negative. It says plus stress, but it's actually getting rid of energy, and I think that's a little goofy. We've got such a large crew at this point. It's kind of awesome. Frickin' radical. Talk your way in. Greenbelt buzzes with focused activity. The passage is full at shift change, then emptied once the work begins. It's a place that runs on its own schedule, but comfortably so. The comfort bought by being one of the largest food producers in the belt. There is always work in these fields, protected by a thick skin of transparent layers, and you can see why the humble life it offers has captured more than a few of the belt's itinerant workers. Sleeper? Voice soft but forceful takes you by surprise. It's Aki! I hate seeing characters from the last game. As you turn, you are met with a delicate face wearing a confused expression. Apologies, I mistook you for someone else. She covers his embarrassment with a smile. I'm Aki. What brings you to the Greenbelt, friend? Just looking. Aki nods gently. Well, we aren't usually open to spectators, but I'll make an exception. She clasps her hands together. Come with me. Aki leads you through a series of doors, gliding down into passages cut into the rock, then up following pipes into metal passages that cross the fields themselves. We love Aki. We do. We do love Aki. She stops on a bridge overlooking the soft curve of farmland that makes up one of the asteroid's 2 biospheres. Below, leaves flap in 0G, waves spreading out across a sea of green. Is this what's become of the steppe? The varieties we farm here are specifically selected and customized for microgravity. She pushes her hands on the railing at the edge of the bridge. We feed them from beneath, irrigating and nourishing them through the very medium they grow within. The light of Helion helps us with this, of course. Aki squints through the transparent roof at the distant pale sun. Where does this food go? All across the belt. She turns to face you. We exchange it for water, for materials, and everything else we need to supply our crops and workers. The farms sustain us, we them. But how about you? Aki's sharp eyes take in your expression. Could you contribute to such a place? A green and growing strip in the gray belt? I'd like to. Aki smiles. Feel free to take a shift below, anytime you wish. I'll tell the others to expect you. The plants, they have a kind of peace, an internal quality that makes them less fragile than they are. Aki sighs. This place, like any other in the belt, has its pressures. It is for me to navigate them. She looks away, frowning in the distance. I must attend to those pressures. Excuse me. I'm glad our paths crossed. She bows a shallow bow. I hope they do again. And with that, Aki leaves you over to the sea of gentle waving green, an impossibly beautiful, impossibly fragile glass case of growing things. You know, I thought I'd see Lemon Mina, but I honestly hope I don't, because if I see Lemon Mina, that means they left the Eye, and that means they're no longer with the Sleeper from 1. And I think that is perhaps one of the most painful thoughts that I could ever... Like, that is the worst thought in my mind. And I hate having it. Anyway. Among the green. Let's try this one first, because if it's one that... If it gives me none energy... Oh, it's a neutral outcome. Let's go. Let's go. It do be a bad thought. I think it's painful. I think that's painful. Extraordinarily so, actually. Scavenge fuel. We don't need to... Making friends, gearing up, maintenance shift. No. Yes. You have a natural ability with the plants. Aki's voice makes you look up from your work. It is rare. You expect Aki's typical warm smile, but she looks pale, distracted. I have something I want to discuss with you. She leads you out of the biome into the damp rock-cut tunnels that run just under the surface all across the greenbelt. I'm sure you've noticed the section of our fields that has been lying fallow, Aki says as she glides through the low tunnel. It's been like this since I took over it as administrator here. My predecessor was the one to fail it, and confidence was lost in his vision, she shakes her head. But we have been unable to recover it. No matter the crop, the preparations, nothing will take. Aki leads you through a set of double doors, and then up into the second biosphere. Immediately, you feel a difference. The air is dry, and a thin, choking dust fills the space. Aki pulls out a hand and rubs the dust between her fingers. With its output halved, Greenbelt is under threat, she sighs. Those who wish to control this place are circling. We cannot lose our independence. But I wasn't always in the belt, Aki stares out of the dry landscape. I was born on a moon, Ember Steppe, a failed experiment in terraforming from before the collapse. We survived by cultivating the dust. I came here, like many, in the shadow of the war. My ship lost. Aki pauses and takes a moment, the loss still fresh in her mind. But it held the key. Aki looks to you, and perhaps holds it still. She wipes the dust from her fingers. Steppe silk, a plant that thrives in the dry and the dust. A plant that might thrive here. I have seen your ship, and you have shown me you are to be trusted. I want you to go to what remains of my own, the wind's long shadow, and try to recover anything we might use, a plant, a husk, a seed, anything. It is a desperate step. She frowns and looks away. Where is the ship? The wind's long shadow lies wrecked beyond the sunward edge of the belt, beyond Helion Gate. Aki pauses. I do not know what remains. My crew and I were lucky to escape. Greenbelt has reserves of cryo for moments like these. We will pay you for the retrieval, of course, depending on what you were able to retrieve. Aki sighs. This is our final recourse, I hope. I will not be judged as harshly as my predecessor. I can offer you fuel for the trip, from our reserves. She bows slightly. The journey to Helion Gate and the wreck beyond will require it. Come, let us go back to where the green things grow, she smiles. It is a better place to consider the future together. And Aki leads you away from the barren biosphere, the doors scissoring shut behind you. Well, it's so hard for me to look at a character from the last game and tell them no. Do you know what I mean? It's like that, well, that's my friend. They don't even know me, but that's my friend. That's my buddy. Until I see someone who I didn't like, and I'm gonna go, fuck you! I hate you! That's not the one I was supposed to be doing. Her dad is scrapping. That was bad. It's like I'm looking at Aki and it's like there's no matter what way you spin it, that is like until you see. I will fucking kill Ankita. I know, like, because I know Bliss and Ankita came here together. I will fucking murder Ankita. If I have the option to blast Ankita into the next stratosphere, I fucking will. Unless she's like really pathetic. And that's not a spoiler, to be honest. I don't remember if Ankita is in 2. It wouldn't surprise me if she was. I've been kind of looking out for her. Because her and Bliss came here together. Anyway, I will fucking annihilate that wretch. I hate her so much. I don't usually feel that betrayed by people, but she... Fuck you. That's about the long and short of it. I'm gonna take Junie and Nia because they both have a plus. As much Bliss and Eugen are cool, but I also like I can do everything they can. They also Eugen and Bliss have more stress though. The wind's long shadow floats, broken open, at the sunward edge of the belt. One of the refugee ships that made the fraught journey out to the belt from the inner system before the war truly took hold. The wind's long shadow is a monument now, and a warning to any other vessel that might stray sunward. Great character. She's fucking terrible. I hate her. The last ship out of Ember's Step, Junie looks out towards the wreck. I can see it was beautiful once. Okay, alright, I'm sorry. I need to take a second. Ankita pretended that she didn't know what was happening. First things first. That she didn't know that there was another sleeper involved, another person who was running, which I firmly believe she knew about the other sleeper. She did. And I refuse to believe anything else. And in some capacity, she had to be aware. She then goes and she looks at 2 desperate people, someone trying to save someone they love, and shoots him, and kills 2 people with 1 stone. And then pretends like she's sorry. Anyway, the last ship out of Ember's Step, Junie looks out towards the wreck. I can see it was beautiful once. It is hard to imagine that this cold, dead place might hold some key to the future of a settlement as verdant as Greenbelt. But that is why you're here. There's like no way she didn't. She doesn't. Exactly! She explicitly withheld information and then fucking killed 2 people for no reason. We could have got another ship mine. You had another ship mine! Step silk husks. That's what Aki said. The crop she brought from her home, carried out with the refugees. If there's anything left, it'll be your job to continue its journey from this place. This is no salvage job, Sleeper. Seraphim gets up from his cockpit seat. You need to be delicate. The more of those things we can get out, the more Aki will pay. Not to be totally mercenary, Seraphim winks at you. You look out at the wreck, shrouded in debris. Delicate, right? Time to put that to the test. Crop processing. Okay. We could start here. Doesn't seem like a bad idea. Engineer is here, so this wouldn't. This is me. I can the only one who can do that. And Junie they can work here in the container hunt. Okay. Alright, so let's start off by doing this one. We'll make a push, because that'll make theirs 5s, which makes this a 6, guaranteed success. So we're chilling. So okay, we can come back to that tamale. Crop processing. Nope, that's not where we want, actually. We want to come to the storage vault. Scan for husks. She's in control, Sleeper. Okay. We're gonna take a day. Explore. Okay, 2 5s from Junie. Throw in that 5 from Nia. We got that from there. Do some more scanning. Hell yeah. We have 2 step silk husks. And now it's time to get to work. Hell yeah, hell yeah. Okay. Only got 2s, so we're gonna take the day. Take the day. We already got all we need, really. So we're just gonna smooth it on through. We're just gonna smooth it on through. And tomorrow, it'll be done. Cut open the bays. And boom, like that, we have a third. Retrieve all 3 step silk husks from the wreck. If the wreck wasn't dead before, now scoured of the final husks of life, it surely must be. As Seraphin starts up the drive, you give the Wind's-Long Shadow a final look in its resting place. It is hard to feel sad about another chunk of scrap orbiting in a system that is made of nothing but the scrap of past regimes. The people who lived on and built this ship, those people were worth a monument of memory. You think of them as you prepare to leave, and hope that they, like Aki, have been carried on to new lives beyond the desperation of escape. And those that didn't get out, you hope your passing through this place did not disturb them. Let's get out of here. Oh, baby! Give me that Solheim data. Mine. Seized cargo. Go pilfer some supplies. To the Greenbelt. Gotta take these husks to Aki. You bring the step silk husks you gathered from the Wind's-Long Shadow to Aki, and she is pleased as you would expect. You meet her on the bridge overlooking Greenfields, the Greenbelt workers quietly toiling below, while the air recycler's wind gently rustles the leaves of the crops. Sleeper, Aki holds the husks to her chest. Thank you. These are a new beginning for us. Aki pauses, knitting her brow. How was she? The Wind's-Long Shadow. She must have been beautiful once. Aki smiles. She truly was, she looks down, until they killed her. Aki sighs and looks out at the Greenbelt fields. Everyone must die in the end. The belt makes wrecks of us all. She looks back to you. What have you brought me? This is new life. Give us time. We will need to clear out and reseed the other biosphere. Aki bows. I hope you will return to us when the work is done. She presses a handful of chits into your hand. Thank you. She meets your eye. You watch her carry the husks gently away, glowing with the promise of fresh growth. Oh, and we'll get to come back! It's not gonna be like... Too bad there's no work to be done here. Yet. Alright, I guess we'll just buy... Well, yeah, we'll fill our... God damn, that's cheap fuel. We're gonna hit it back to Helion Gate again. Because Helion Gate is a good place to just hang out for a few seconds. Plenty of fuel. Max out on my supplies. And then we're off. We've got to hit the far spindle. We've got to hit... I think we have to hit the flotsam. Right? No, I think we only have to hit the rock right now, actually. Numba's Kitchen. Packed spores. You remembered us. Numba appears at the loading dock, slate in hand, as you load off the crates into the back of the kitchen. I'm a little surprised. You look at the chef. He looks tired, though his sharp eyes haven't dulled in the time between your meetings. Happy to surprise you. Well, I'm not that surprised, he smiles, but it's still a pleasant feeling. Numba glides over to a crate to take a look. He squints at the crumbled corners and bent lids. Not in great condition, though. How long have these been bouncing around in your hold? They were like that already. Now that I can believe. They didn't bother to bring them to the right station, after all. I have a place picked out in one of the bays to cultivate these. Warm, damp, near the air recyclers. He pushes one of the crates gently into the kitchen. Shouldn't take long before we have mushrooms to cook. You follow Numba into the kitchen, remembering your shift's working here. They were long, but the company was good. And as with all things, the difficulties have faded with time, leaving a golden sheen behind. Numba seems to catch the way you were looking at the kitchen. Much the same as before, I'm sure you noticed, but twice as oversubscribed. In each cycle, more refugees come out of the inner system. The war isn't going anywhere. Numba pushes the crate into a storage rack and pulls netting across it. They disperse across the belts, of course, but many don't make it much further than the overhang, especially if they can't work. It's not just food, either. We need blankets, housing. Numba suddenly passes and shoots you a look over his glasses. Tell me, how is Greenbelt? Well run. I heard it was organized as a cooperative, all the workers sharing in the trade of their goods, but no chits exchanged, only resources for the colony. Numba watches you closely. That's right. I mention it because, well, it might be the kind of place to offer aid to the people here. Numba sighs. I regret being mercenary, but waiting for benevolent helpers doesn't work. Apart from present exceptions, of course. I can speak to them. It's worth a shot, Numba looks you in the eye. But you need to earn their trust first. You need their trust first. Earn that, then talk. You have the feeling Numba was waiting for your suggestion. Here, he takes out one of the crates of spores. I'm sure they could use these. Take them as a gift, he pushes it to you. Don't begin with the spores. Begin by understanding what they need from you. Trust me, you have a feeling Numba is good at getting what he wants. Meanwhile, I've meal prep to begin. He takes a deep breath. Thank you for the spores, really. I will keep asking you for help. You have to forgive me for that, he smiles. It doesn't mean I don't understand what you are giving. Now get out of here. Numba waves you away with your crate of packed spores, his expression somehow both withering and encouraging at the same time. Minor drive complete. There's not much to do. I think we can gamble, but that's about all. Not a whole lot to do here on the far spindle anymore. Work some ceiling shifts, and then we'll get out. We need the cryo. We always need cryo, but, you know. Need some cryo. We'll head out. All right. Sorry, I had to answer an important DM. That was important. I'm house sitting for some friends again, and I was just making sure that things were all set and ready to go. Okay, yeah, Holmes Rock is where we're going. Because we have the Hasnav, and we can go through the rock field. For you to get data. Oh, okay, so you get rare components from here. And then it slowly becomes a pile of scrap. Okay, that's cool. So I can do it twice more and get 2 more rare components. There's not much to do here either, if I recall correctly. Sell engine components, buy a meal. Fix some broken arrays. Sell a thing of raw scrap. I have no idea what processed scrap is actually for. I'm sure there's somewhere I can sell it for probably decent money, but I just haven't. Okay. Confirm vector. We need Junie. I think Junie and Nia are gonna be our go-tos. That's it, Seraphim Not Source, the featureless asteroid. Those are the coordinates Junie gave me. You look out at the rock. It's like thousands, hundreds of thousands of other rocks in the starboard belt. All these objects much the same, spread across a huge circumference of space. A good place to hide something. That's it? Judy speaks up from the back of the cockpit. That's it, Seraphim confirms. She drifts forward, her eyes tracing the shape of the rock. There, she points. That hexagonal crater, she turns to you. That's the entry. You look at the dark spot on the already dark rock. It's a start. 50 Cryo says the place is all collapsed tunnels and corroded rails. Nia's comment at the back of the cockpit unnoticed. Looks like a palladium mine they never bothered to finish building to me. You look out at the unassuming rock and wonder what it might contain. A few dusty tunnels or something more. Time to go find out. Time to go find out. Will this give me 2? This will probably also give me 2. Yep. Force the hatch. We have bunker access. Hack the doorway. Okay. Tomorrow. Spire hack. When you enter the access spire, the crew suddenly went very quiet. The images of a vast space seen through the viewing windows, the pristine wall paneling, the cool and the quiet. There is a sacred mood to this place, a feeling of hallowed ground. Now as the facility's final entry lock whirs, flooding the passage with stale, dusty 10,000 cycle-old air, Junie speaks. It's impossible. She drifts down the spire and out into the carnivorous interior. Cavernous, sorry. A constellation of red specks that mark the vast extent of the space, and within it, a ring of monolithic buildings curve away, running along the circumference of the massive chamber. You follow her, slowly out of the doorway and into the bunker. With a name like that, you would imagine low sloped ceilings, stark tunnels, a basement cut into the rock. But this place is a cathedral, a cocoon the size of a city. I guess I'm down 50 Cryo. Neo follows you and out into the cavern. How many of these places did Junie say were out there? I could have landed on a rock like this, never knowing there was a dead city inside. She shakes her head. Wild. Descending to the ring takes a while, despite the empty space. No one wants to rush through it. The feeling of entering a sacred territory remains. though the deeper you go inside, the more obvious it becomes that this place is more attuned than a temple. You touch down amongst the gray metal units, most of them featureless and dark. They tower above you now, their plain frontages revealing little about their function and interior. Stay close. Junie moves ahead to the gap between two structures. This place is a labyrinth. Welcome, visitors. A pale flicker appears near one of the units at the top of this pedestal. I am the warden. Please provide access credentials. The flicker stabilizes into a figure, a statue of pulsating light. It pauses for a moment before repeating its request. Junie freezes, holds a calming hand out to you. She retrieves her deck, sliding it carefully from her backpack, and turns it on. You look over at the warden, who waits patiently, wide-eyed and absent, restating its security request with a regular rhythm. You guess that this avatar just exists to make human interactions comfortable. Its true body is the facility itself, this vast interior ring speckled with sensors and systems. Suddenly, the warden stops speaking, then a flash of red passes along the corridors. Credentials not provided. Lockdown activating in 10, 9. You look over at Junie, whose eyes are rapidly scanning through a screen full of data. Festning. Junie stumbles through the pronunciation of the passphrase. Litter Ildstead. She looks up at the warden's avatar expectantly. The warden flickers again, distorts, and then restabilizes. Oversight connection not active. Reattempting. It repeats itself again, then again, intoning the words in a regular rhythm. You look over at Junie, holding still as if encountering a wild animal. She meets your eyes but gives no indication of any action you might take. Loop bypass engaged. Welcome, officer. The synthetic voice shifts to a different tone. Leonard Dahl. The avatar's white eyes stay blank and blind. And guests. How old is that protocol? Nia hisses. I've never seen anybody dressed like it. Junie looks back and then at the warden. The figure darkens. Wow, holy shit! The figure flickers, staring out over your heads into the dark. Are we good, Junie? She looks at the warden. Warden, are we approved to access all facilities? Yes, Officer Dahl, the warden replies. Please remember, you are responsible for the conduct of your guests while visiting our facility. The thing is creeping me out. Nia glances at the dead-eyed avatar. Let's get on with it. You move forward, pushing between the structures towards a large building in the hope that it holds the facility's central data core. And as you do, you pass benches, barren gardens with that desiccated grass. A drinking bottle floats in the air among the dust motes. This place is dead. Be aware, officer. The warden reappears in the dark, shimmering on a pedestal. Due to the facility's expended rung cycle and the activation of the hibernation protocol, access to central data store will be strictly limited. However, if you wish to show your guests the habitation facilities, I'm sure they will enjoy the tour. The avatar remains expressionless, disconnected from the voice that accompanies it. On a personal note, I'm glad to see you return to the facility. The figure flickers. I'm happy to report that I am ready for program reactivation at any time. Junie stares at the avatar. Thank you, Warden, she pauses. Can I ask how long ago the hibernation protocol was activated? Certainly. 11,473 Helian standard cycles ago, the warden distorts. If I am in error, I apologize. Some subsystems have not been properly maintained. Look at the blind avatar standing on its pedestal, waiting for an order that will never come. So many cycles in the dark, patiently holding this place together as it fell apart, resisting entropy and its bubble of the past. Thank you, Warden. That'll be all, Junie nods to the avatar, which promptly blinks out of existence, leaving only the dust in the dark. She turns to you and speaks quietly, though none of you know what sensors the warden's vast body might have. My access, it won't last long, she sighs. We need to make the most of this. We'll go for the core. The warden won't like that, but it's where the data is. She glances around. You try to be delicate, take it little by little. I don't know how long this will last, Junie sighs. Let's get on with it. Ring facility, bunker core! Ah, but no endure. Make a push. Okay. Let's take a look at the ring facility, see if there's any... Okay. We can endure, baby. Ooh, okay, I'm having a bad time. We shouldn't do that, realistically. Okay. It's fine. We have time. We have time. It's fine. Damage dice. Ow. One crisis. There's a crisis active. Oh, okay. So the crisis is always active then. That not awesome, but fuck it, we ball. Solheim tech, baby. Scrape up some shit. Okay. Fuck it, we make another push. We gotta get everything we can out of this place. Okay. I need you to roll 2 high rolls, and you as well. Those aren't bad. Yes! Solheim souvenir. There's an unsettling quiet to the HAB units of the facility, a soft silence that blankets every room and hallway. It is obvious from the number of rooms, the detritus, the scale of the place, that it was built to house hundreds, maybe thousands of people. Perhaps it did. Perhaps at the height of Solheim's control of the system, these rooms were filled with life. What kind of life would it be, though? Maintaining and running a secret installation inside a distant rock. No sun to speak of, no outside beyond the vast cavern that surrounds you, an eternal dark punctuated by the flash of artificial light. And yet, even in such places, lives grow. You know that yourself from being a sleeper, from your work among other sleepers in the most wretched and distant corners of the surrogate systems. Even in the endless dark, people find ways to live. Come take a look at this, Junie is searching on her own, a few rooms away. You glide through an open doorway into a room with couches meant for zero-G use, a magnetic table and a window that looks out to the regular constellation of red lights that describe the limits of the world, of this world. Junie is holding an object that makes you stop still and stare, blinking at what seems like an unusual reversal of scale. It is a model, you realize, of the rig. Not your rig, obviously, but a rig, or an MEV Regier class, as the plaque above the base tells you. Mobile extraction vehicle. Junie follows your eyes up to the plaque. Regier class, she frowns. Seriously? That's why we call them rigs? She laughs, the noise bouncing back hard and cruel in the empty room. What does Regier mean anyway? She sighs, another Solheim mystery. You look at the model, still fascinated by seeing your ship rendered in such careful details. Try to imagine what this model meant to those who lived here. A child's toy? A meaningless corporate knickknack? The model's purpose remains opaque. There were so many of those flying around the systems before the collapse, you know. Junie turns the model over in her hands. Solheims used to rent them out to colonists. I've seen the records. That was what they did here. They claimed the system. Then rather than exploit it themselves, they provided goods and services to those who would. The workers paid for transit to the system, then accommodation, equipment, and access to mining claims. Other corps like XPR or Neovent paid Solheim to access this closed market, to provide other services. Meanwhile, Sabel paid even more to test terraforming tech in the system. They built massive projects here, rich from work they only facilitated but never undertook. But then they collapsed. Yeah, that's what happens when you're built on other people's work. A few high-profile accidents, malfunctions, and the exodus begins. Once it starts, the shareholders lose trust, and Junie turns out and squints at the window. Here we are at the far end of it. Here, Junie turns and hands you the rig model. A gift. You take it and turn it over in your hands. You see something on the base, some words scratched in that you can't read. You run your fingers over them, touching the past. That's the closest thing to a treasure I think will turn up out here, Junie says. The people who worked this place didn't have much to their names, it seems. And what little they did have, well, Solheim owned that too. She leads you out of the HAB units, passing countless doors, some sealed, some open, that lead to countless rooms where countless employees lived, or tried to, in the shadow of Solheim. Like it or not, this is what made the Helion system, what built the decaying structures you cling to as they orbit their star. What that legacy means now is a decision every resident of the Starward Belt has to make.
Oh, fuck!
Done. Junie removes her cable from the data core's port. She looks up from the boxy piece of hardware, one that wouldn't fit inside any other ship short of a freighter, and stares at the dome ceiling above, an oculus at its apex letting the shaft into the hall. It's a grand piece of architecture for what amounts to a massive piece of data storage, but then Solheim always did have a sense of grandeur when it came to its projects. Why should a secret signal monitoring facility be any less opulent than its other buildings? Took everything? No, she laughs. All that, she points at the core, doesn't fit on this, she taps the deck. But I scraped the high-level stuff. That'll have to be enough. We should go, Junie sighs. I'm not sure how the Warden will react. She looks back over her shoulder at the vast core. I don't think we'll be let back in to get more. As if listening for its name, the Warden suddenly apparates on one of its pedestals. It stares statuesque across the hall, its eye line way above your head. Officer Dahl. Its voice sounds strange now, stretched out, drawn out. I've detected inconsistencies in the central data core. I believe there may have been unauthorized access. Junie looks at you nervously. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. I will investigate when I can. But for now, my guests and I, she looks at you, have to depart. The Warden flickers. The Warden bends and warps. The Warden screeches a pulse of digital noise. Of course, the Warden's voice is still broken, still slowed. I hope you enjoyed your visit to this facility. Junie looks up at the blind statue. Something is moving inside it, making its skin, if it has a skin, bend away from its body. You wait, floating there in the dust. Junie approaches the pedestal. Officer Dahl, can I ask when you will return? The Warden blinks its wide eyes. The facility has been idle for many cycles, and without reactivation, we may face further difficulties in its maintenance. The Warden pulses, has been so long. You watch as Junie approaches the pedestal. I don't think I will be able to return. I'm sorry, Warden. The Warden flashes red for a moment so small that you could almost believe you imagined it. This is as I expected, Officer Dahl. The Warden is still loud, its lips no longer moving as they speak, its chest no longer moves to emulate breath. It is a statue. Thank you for your honesty. It has been an honor to serve you. I recommend you leave swiftly. With that, the Warden blinks out. You and Junie kick off from the ring outside the core, and rise up towards the spire you entered through. As you do, you watch a few of the red lights embedded into the framework of the cavern flicker. Junie turns to you as you ascend through the dark. Do you think the Warden is sentient? I mean, as a sleeper, maybe you. She goes quiet. I thought you might know. It could have become sentient. Since the collapse, is that possible? I suppose with no oversight from Solheim technician, the protocol could develop some rudimentary learning skills, she pauses. Seems unlikely it could learn to think, though. She looks up to the approaching spire. Nia's waiting for you in the access spire. Ready to go? She shivers in her suit. Let's lock that creepy computer back in. Junie cycles the airlock, and you go through, now in your suits and helmets ascending the sealed spire. As you do, you look out at the viewing windows, and something catches your eye. The ring's red lights and those few left on inside the cavern are turning off, layer by layer. You turn to Junie, but she is already looking out at the opposite side. The Warden is shutting it all down, Junie pauses. She's ending it. You have to force the hatch back open at the top, and by the time you do, the spire is dark inside. The pristine walls no longer lit. You come out to a canvas of stars, an impossible number of them, spread out in every direction. You take a moment to look at them. After being tucked away in the bunker, they seem impossibly bright and impossibly beautiful. Glance around at Junie and see as she is looking up at the stars too, absorbing their light, as if doing so might lift her out of this time and into another one, where things were different. And then we leave. I suppose I'm getting a call that I have to answer. Sorry, gang, I just secured apple fritters. Seraphin settles the rig at Holmes Rock, the old Solheim arrays glinting in the sun. Looking out at the station, you suddenly remember the model Junie gave you, and you take it out of your pocket, seeing it in full light. You notice it's made from cast metal, surprisingly detailed and robust looking. Well, look at that, Seraphin glides over. It's a mini rig. You let him take it. He turns it over in his hand, looking at it. What a find, he gazes at the model ship. What are you gonna do with it? Mount it on your console? Really? Seraphin grins. Well, it can do that for sure. He looks at the model for another moment, then pats you on your shoulder. Good call. Everyone can enjoy it then. He takes the model and glides over to his console. I'll get it sorted, he turns back, smiling. It's gonna look great. Sleeper? Junie puts a hand gently on your shoulder. You turn to see her smiling a rare smile. Thank you for going out on a limb for me. I know that wasn't the most profitable job, but what we found, I'll be thinking about it for, well, ever. I managed to extract some data that you can use, and I'm going to search through everything we pulled from the bunker. Junie looks down. I want to show you it was worthwhile. It was worthwhile. She nods. I'm glad you think so. I'll also start seeing where to find the kind of tools I need to work with data like this. Her smile is fading already, replaced by a familiar, determined stare. We can't let it go to waste. My deck is not going to be enough. Darkside might be the only option. It's the biggest remaining Solheim facility in the belt, she sighs. I'll look into it. Either way, thanks for bringing me with you. I'm glad to be a part of this, the smile returns. For as long as you'll have me. She looks away nervously, and then, before you can respond, she is gone. Ought to find a corner of the ship where she can dig through the data she pulled into the past in order to build a better future. Okay, we need to fuel up. Holy shit. Dice repair. I'm sure it's not gonna be cheap here. Yep, fuel is fucking expensive. What are you gonna do? We got profitable jobs. I think I'm gonna do push effects bolt dice because that's so awesome. Because that means we win. Wellspring is locked off. Do you have to go to the Flotsam? Connect Nemba and Aki. Find the fraction ship. Let's go to the Hollow. Help Aki return to the Greenbelt. Investigate the heaven. Okay. We're going to the Greenbelt. Is the long and short of it. The biosphere, once barren, is transformed. Where it was once dry and gray, it now swirls with amber dust, a hazy cloud cut through with the bone-white tendrils of steppe silk. Aki, in mask and goggles, lets the biosphere circulating air play with the end of her scarf, twirling and twisting, even threatening to rip it from her neck. The scarf, she's explained, is woven from the bast fibers of the steppe silk itself. This is why this place is known as Weaver's Fields, for the workshop of Greenbelt residents creating fabric from its steppe silk fibers, weavers who fled from Ember's steppe, and those taught afresh by Aki herself. Isn't it beautiful? Aki asks, her eyes glowing. Ember's steppe reborn on this rock, but not as an archive, as something new. The plants themselves are reconfigured. The steppe silk adapts well to the microgravity, even thrives. The dust itself becomes a cloud that surrounds it. Aki points to a tendril stretching across space. What was once a burrowing plant is now a bridging plant. Like us, it projects itself across empty space, pushing out into its new conditions. Aki looks at you. Sorry, I'm rambling. This place does that to me. Her chuckle is muffled by her mask. It is beautiful. Aki bows. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Let's leave the dust house. We can talk more outside. She shepherds you through some nearby double doors, the space between blasting you with air to clean away the dust. You find yourself in a sparse room. Racks of unfamiliar tools in the wall sit like windows, looking out into the amber dust storm. This is just the beginning for us. Aki has slipped off her mask, and her voice is crisp and brought above the rumbling of air recyclers. The steppe silk is already being harvested, retted, and woven. This is no synthetic fiber from the Darkside looms. This is a natural fabric. Out here in this unnatural place. Aki brushed a little dust away. We will trade it and get what Greenbelt needs to stay stable to feed its people. I am the administrator, but the workers are the owners here, and we will make a future for ourselves from our work, Aki shrugs. We control our path. What more could we want? Silence falls in the room. The idea of such a future is so desirable that it is almost painful, an idea that haunts you. You can spend as much time here as you like. Aki breaks the silence, somehow aware of your thoughts. I find the noise soothes me. Thank you. Aki bows gently. Aki pauses. There's something you want to ask me. She smiles. I can see it right there, on the tip of your tongue. Explain about Numba. Aki listens carefully as you talk about the refugees in the Far Spindle and the possibility of setting up a mutual relationship between them and the Greenbelt. Far Spindle is a long way from here, she sighs. Come, find me in my unit later. We can discuss more then. Leave Aki in the dust house surrounded by the landscape of her homeworld, one of many creatures born on that parched moon that is now in the process of transforming into something new. Harlequin? She's being a menace. A menace. Aki is working in her unit. Now the Stepsilk is established in the Greenbelt stable. It seems like the right time to bring her Numba spores. Aki looks at the crate of spores with a mix of curiosity and skepticism. The well-traveled crate does appear very rough at this point. Come in. The doors of Aki's unit slide open, and you see her perched at a terminal. Her face pale in the blue light of the screen. You have not seen her in this setting before. She seems paler, older when she isn't surrounded by the soft light of the biomes. Known Amonis Harlequinzel. That's true. Just one moment. Her eyes do not leave the screen, and she leans in closer, squinting at detail. You get the sense this is her least favorite part of her administrative position. She sighs and looks up. Done. Immediately, her eyes are drawn to the crate you carry. What have you brought me? Spores! Spores? Her eyes light up. Let me see. As she unlocks the war and catches on the crate, you explain about Numba and his work to feed the refugees in the Underhang. You aren't sure Aki is listening, though. She seems too eager to see inside the crate. Aki manages to get the lid open and lifts a dented canister out of the side. She turns it, peering through the small window to the dusty-looking translucent sheet curled inside. Spore prints! She looks at you. This was quite a gift. From this Numba, you said. She carefully slots the canister away. We will make good use of these. The tunnels under the Greenbelt will make an excellent mushroom garden. She smiles to herself. I was lucky enough to be taught how to tend mushrooms by a true expert. Who was that? Someone from my journey here. A botanist on Erlin's Eye. She was very kind to us. Aki smiles. She would have liked to meet you. Oh, I don't like thinking about her either, because I bet you she's passed away. I would like to meet Numba. Perhaps we can find some commonality. She glances over her shoulder at the terminal. But I can't leave the Greenbelt. Not now. She looks at you sheepishly. I am a little nervous to ask this of you, given your ferrying back and forth with messages and deliveries. But would you bring Numba here so we can speak? Gladly. Aki smiles. I hoped that would be the case. A shrill beep begins emanating from Aki's terminal. She smiles. The Weavers, I need to speak to them. You make your way out of the unit as Aki takes a deep breath and then accepts the incoming transmission. One more run from Greenbelt to the Far Spindle and back again. At least you aren't carrying spores this time. Well, let's fill up on fuel and head out of here. Greenbelt, what an awesome place to refuel. We have to go through the Helion Gate, which is fine, because that means we can resupply at the Helion Gate for free. You are the first to notice them, small, white, smooth shapes at the boundaries between hull plates and the seams of paneling curling out from beneath the vents. Mushrooms dotted here and there, all across the cargo bay. Mushrooms growing on your ship. This doesn't seem very hygienic. Blitz floats next to you, surveying the scattering of pale caps in the cargo bay. It's hard not to agree, although you doubt spores and fungi can have a significant effect on your body. Not that you've risked it before. We should vent the cargo bay, Seraphin's voice crackles through the ship's cargo bay speakers. He's flying the ship, but you updated him on your new passengers. This is what comes from having spores and wonky crates sitting in your bays cycle after cycle. Bliss shrugs. They don't seem to be hurting anyone. They float over to a cap and tear it off at the stem. We know from Numba that these are edible, so we could farm them? We are always short of supplies, Seraphin's voice buzzes through the speakers, but a few caps don't make a meal. Bliss inspects the cap. I do like a good mushroom. They sniff it. Back on the eye, they had these matsuke that smelled amazing. You look over the cargo bay. It doesn't get used much. Most of your halls fit comfortably in one corridor. There's plenty of room to isolate a little growing area, maybe with some plastic sheets. Or you could just open the hatch and let the void of space sterilize the whole place for you as you fly. After all, if these things get into the air recyclers, you could have a serious problem on your hands. Who knows what they might do to the wiring? You doubt either decision will bother Nemba, at least. His spores are delivered, and you have a free hand to choose. Keep the mushrooms. Bliss holds the cap to their mouth and then thinks better. They squint at you. Are you sure? Actually, no, let's vent them. Alright then, Seraphine's voice betters. Better safe than sorry. You two will need to do it locally. It takes a minute to move cargo from the one bay into the secure lockers. Once you're done, you and Bliss back out and seal the doors. Sorry, little fun guy, Bliss says to the room as they start the cargo doors opening sequence. We wanted to keep you, but there wasn't much room. The bay vents into space, some of the caps torn from their place and thrown out into the void by the pressure change. You look at Bliss. What? They grin. Seraphine's not the only one who can make jokes, you know. What? Alright. Ooh, no. Now I have to use my fucking supplies that I got because there's nowhere to eat here. That's the bad part about this. It's okay. We got fucking fuel out the wazoo. Fuel that we got. We were like, let's stock up on fuel. And then we did. Let's go to the far spindle. Rig. Explore. Nemba's kitchen. Oh, we need the few. Okay, interesting. Hola, Gwen. Stop your nonsense. Little beast that she is. Hola, Gwen. Quit your nonsense. Oh my god, I fucking take 2 energy, so now I'm stressed. Kelp cakes. Alright, Nemba, let's go. Aki comes to meet Nemba at the entrance to Greenfields. You can tell she's in full administrator mode. Her bows are precise, her words carefully chosen. But her manner is not without its distinctive warmth. Nemba responds in kind, taking a diplomatic tone, but with a wry grin for her benefit. As Aki provides the tour, you watch them from one of the bridges, their conversation muffled by the greenway all around. They both look at home amongst the growing things, hands reaching out to touch stray leaves, faces dappled with sunlight. When Nemba returns afterwards, you aren't surprised to see him pleased. Plans are in motion, sleeper. Nemba smiles for a moment and then catches himself. Optimistic plans. What did Aki offer? She graciously offered a regular supply of steppe silk cloth for clothing and construction of shelters in the base of the underhang. We're also going to see about settling people here in Greenbelt to work with the farmers. Nemba sighs. It is always a little strange to talk like this about the lives of people who have been exposed to so much suffering. But we do them no benefit to couch our words in platitudes. Nemba looks out at the green fields. Aki understands that. She is a refugee herself. She fled her moon many cycles ago. Nemba squints. We share that as well. You fled the war. I did. Does that change how you see me? Nemba sighs. Would it have made you treat me differently? He sniffs. Sorry, I am being unfair. I just find there's an expectation that if I am a refugee, I must be desperate. I must beg for aid, show my suffering. Nemba folds his arms. I prefer to make plain requests, or even better, strong demands. You think back and forth journeys made for both Aki and Nemba, and the aid that was asked of you. Would you have done the same if the requests hadn't been so strong, demands so obvious? Speaking to Aki, I can see she's experienced the same treatment, though I think she is less hardened by it. We both have our own reasons to do what we do, for why we enjoy it in our own ways. We don't need to explain ourselves to others. Nemba looks over his glasses at you. I'm glad to have met her. Thank you for your part into it. I'm glad to help. What I like about you, Sleeper, is that I believe you when you say that. Nemba smiles wryly. I will stay a little longer. Aki has promised to send me back to the far spindle with the first shipment of fabric. I will then gather those who wish to come here and send them back in the same freighter. He smiles warmly at the view of the green fields. The exchange begins. The work never ends. You say your goodbyes and leave Nemba on the bridge, enjoying the dappled light. After all the shuttling of spores across the belt, you finally have a clear view of Aki and Nemba, and their response to their own hardship. They are not saints, acting from a position of purity, but pragmatists with an intent to change those things that once marked them. The future they will build together is what you are eager to see. Harlequin, do not meow at me! We're gonna up engage. +1 stress, +3 to crew both dice. I guess we'll fill up and head out. Fuel is cheap here. Fucking, I think food is cheap here. Oh no, wait, can we not buy supplies from here? I thought we'd be able to buy supplies from the Greenbelt, honestly, but it makes sense that we can't because they're, you know, they're kind of a... Nope, yes we can. I'm stupid. They're fucking cheap as dirt. Find the fraction ship, investigate the hexport, and go to the scatter yards. So we have, as of right now, 3 more locations that we haven't technically been to, being Darkside, spoof transponder required, the Hollow, and scatter yards. So, let's hit the Hollow. Sleeper, Eugen takes you aside. We're going to head in the Radius markets to find my contact, the one with data on the Thelian. You should come with. 2 sets of eyes are better than 1. He smiles. Let's go. As you say, Captain. Eugen grins and heads for the airlock. You watch him go, unsure what his swagger might hide. But you come this far with him. Maybe it's time to see where it all leads. Okay. First things first. Rest and recover. Need that stress gone. So, there is... So, okay, yeah, this is the Radius markets, and then there's the Hollow core. Let's just try to get a feel for the place, yeah? So, now we have Bella's Jetty, where we can buy supplies or buy a meal. We have the Debris Dealers, buy some scrap, sell processed scrap. Let's see. How much does it sell for? Ooh, 30 cryo, that's nice. Okay. Yeah. Just keep grounding around for fuel.
Harlequin, get off of my jacket.
Give me a second, I have to get her off of that. She's freaking attacking my jacket, and I don't know why. I had to get her off of it. Thank God I keep napkins, because she just, like, brought me the apple fritter.
I'd like to see the baby.
Wait, apple fritter? Maybe. The baby who keeps getting in trouble because she's a little monster. Okay, I think she craves freedom. Yep. Harlequin moment over. Thank you, Harley. She says, I'm done. Okay, wait. The apple fritter's so good. I feel repulsive. I feel genuinely disgusting. But apple fritter's so good. How could I not? Did you always make exceptions to morals and values for the frit? I literally just shoved a whole half an apple fritter in my mouth, dude. Like, couple repairs. So we got some work to do here. That's faux show. All right, who are we gonna meet? Is it gonna be crew? Oh, no, it's just a new location. Signal ship. Data scavengers. Align a Braze, interpret signals, or I can sell Solheim datas. That's cool. Okay. Shit, I guess let's get to work. Let's go. Neutral out. Neutral. Not really a great lineup, but we'll live. What do I need for this? It's either Intuit or Engage. Okay. Which I do have Engage, but we're working on this right now. This might give us something good. Other than just the cryo, of course. What do you mean, fried, Kimball? Our station depended on that array. The voice echoes out of one of the sunward poles, cramped bays, tucked up into the ceiling of the hollow. We were tired from a shift spent sealing leaks in the shattered section of the station. Can't help but listen in. I have been patient, Kimball, but now with the repairs almost done, you're telling me we can't broadcast anyway? The voice comes from a doorway nearby. As you float past, you glance inside. You see a woman facing away, addressing the black half of a man buried in the guts of some complex machine. I'm sorry, Kimball, she concludes, but that just feels malicious. The man, presumably Kimball, mumbles something in response, but you do not catch it through the wires and mechanisms that surround him. The woman quickly turns and spots you peering in through the doorway. She gives you a curious look. Oh! She quickly smiles. Hello, she closes the distance. I'm Cyrene, she offers a hand. I see you working on the repairs, she tilts her head. We appreciate the efforts. Happy help. Dude, my nose is getting itchy again, and I hate this. When I talk for too long, my nose gets itchy. Cyrene looks over her shoulder at Kimball and then back to you. How do you feel? She pauses, calculating. about the war in the inner system. It's corporate cruelty. Couldn't have put it better myself. Did you know that Senestat has already started shipbuilding at Cinza? Cyrene watches for your response. Cinza? One of the three sisters in orbit around Ember. She raises an eyebrow. You haven't left the belt, have you? Ember, one of the three sisters in orbit around Ember? No, there's Ember's song, Ember's step, and Ember's heart, I thought. You hear a grunt from Kimball, his head still buried in the machine's innards. It is unclear if it is a reference to what was said, or if it was just the sound of repairs going poorly. We, Cyrene places a hand on her chest, are the Helion Dispatchers, the only pirate radio station in the Starward Belt. She lifts her chin proudly. We keep this system up to date on shifts in the system's power structures and the ongoing corporate war, all through the voices of the Helion system's own residents. Kimball grunts again, and a shower of sparks bursts from the machine behind Cyrene. Or at least we did before our transmitter got fried. Cyrene looks crestfallen. What happened? All the repair work you've been giving your time to, that was caused by a Conway autonomous munition, trained on our scent. Cyrene's eyes flash with anger. A mumble comes from Kimball as he pushes a handful of wiring out of the way. I do know that for sure, Kimball. Why else would it come so deep into the belt to hit the hollow at our broadcast site? Cyrene turns back, hands on hips. Kimball responds with a shrug. Either way, I'm sorry, this is really funny. Cyrene is like, Kimball, what the fuck are you talking about? And Kimball goes, and she just understands it. Either way, straight after the attack, we found our gear had been tampered with, sabotaged. Kimball grunts. Yes, Kimball, or just looted. Either way, we are now quiet, and when we are quiet, the war continues unobserved. Cyrene folds her arms and looks away defeated. What do you need? Look, we need a new broadcast array. A better broadcast array. Cyrene glances over her shoulder. We don't quite have the reach we'd like. For you to get one, there's another problem. We're talking pre-collapse tech here. It's not something we can just build ourselves. Kimball mutters something from the depths of the machine. Yes, Holmes Rock isn't a bad idea, Cyrene replies. It used to be a relay station for Solheim, so it'd stand to reason they'd have arrays. And then there's the terminal there. Kimball's been bugging me to dig out some engine components for him to crack it open and use it in his repairs. God knows what kind of repairs he'd need those for, but that's what he says. Cyrene looks over his shoulder at Kimball, but receives no response. You both stare at his broad shoulders for a moment as a thin trail of smoke begins to emerge from the machine. Now maybe we can do a little fundraising here on the Hollow. What we can get we'll happily hand over, Cyrene shakes her head, but I'm telling you now, it won't be a lot. See what I can do. We'd appreciate it. Hell, the people of the Helion system would appreciate it. She glances over her shoulder. I think Kimball would appreciate it too. You leave Cyrene and Kimball to the repairs, making note of the engine components and wideband array that they will need to get back on the air. It's hard to tell if the job will be worth your time, but then again, someone as knowledgeable as Cyrene might be a useful asset. How many engine components do you... Oh, 2. Hey. All yours. Oop, wrong one. Before we leave the Helion station, we're gonna make sure we've got everything we need from here. Fuck me. We should get going in the next couple of cycles, though. Well, I have to eat. That's gonna be important. Bye, meal. Ask around. Ghosted contact. The radius markets surround you in Eugen. Much of the architecture of the Starward Belt is built on a Solheim foundation. As a corporation from the core, Solheim structures tend towards cardinal directions, towards respecting gravity in a place where it has little effect. The radius markets have no such bias, in no singular direction. Instead, the stalls and shops built from the scrap frame and hull plate project outwards from all 8 of the surrounding walls. The effect is overwhelming, with activity and interest in all directions between the windows that open to faint stars, scrap dealers, street food vendors, data fences, and tailors complete for the attention of the stream, the customers drifting around you. Sleeper, Eugen draws close to get your attention, his voice barely raised. Take a look, he jerks his head, motioning down the market. You refocus your attention, your eyes drawn to a group of dark-suited spacers with shaved heads. 5 of them gathered around another retreating figure. Spacers are noticeably distinct from the rest of the crowd. Their tight and complex suits, kept in pristine condition and all the same design, a rarity amidst the Star Wars Belt ramshackle fashions. You see one of them is gesticulating aggressively, chopping the air with his hand. Eugen nudges you again. Not the singers, you glance at him, unsure of that term. The one they're threatening. Eugen starts to move forward, his eyes fixed on the group. That's my contact. You turn back to the group, the singers as Eugen called them, and see they are rounding on the figure now. Their body language is clear. This is about to come to blows. Eugen clearly sees the shift too. Before you can say a word, he is off, gliding hard to the crowds towards them. You give chase without thinking, kicking off the nearest strut and angling yourself through the central void of the market behind Eugen. Eugen doesn't stop. He barrels straight into the singers, setting 2 of them spiraling into the crowd to a chorus of shouts and protests. Fuck it. Fuck it, we ball. Positive outcome. You follow Eugen's example, arcing your path into one of the singers and throwing an elbow. Both you and Eugen rain blows across the crew, sending them scattering across the markets into the crowd that is gathered to watch. As the last one disappears, you look over at a bruised Eugen, a stream of bloody spheres floating from his nose. He gives you a nod. That was not a good idea. Eugen's contact looks between the 2 of you. Should have guessed you'd pull this kind of shit, Eugen. Lewis, Eugen comes a little closer. Maybe if you stayed in touch, we wouldn't have to come in like the cavalry. Well, those guys aren't going to forget you 2 anytime soon, he sighs. Come with me. Lewis leads you away from the open market, most of the crowd having dispersed into a small passageway. He finds a hatch, opens it, and beckons you both through before slipping inside, closing it behind you. So what business did you have with the singers? Eugen perches on a stool in a small workshop, picking up a tool from the mag strip above the bench and turning it over in his hands. Singers? Is that what you call them? Lewis looks nervous. First I've known of them is when they turned up a few cycles back and started pressing me for info. I've run into some singers before. Not these ones, but they all dress the same. Eugen glances between you and Lewis. They are refugees out of Ember Song, one of the moons of the gas giant in the inner system. Their moon is volcanic hellhole, so while these guys are refugees fleeing the war like most, they tend to be tough as hell, and aren't used to being told no. That part checks out, Lewis smiles a weak smile. They've been pressing me for data for cycles ever since they showed up. My data. Eugen clicks the tool back on the mag strip and flexes Lewis with a hard stare. You've been shopping it around then, trying to drive a bidding war. Lewis holds up his hand. No, nothing like that. He is afraid of Eugen, and you worry why that might be. I just wanted to verify the data I asked around, so when I showed it to, well, they mentioned a fraction drive. You see Eugen bristle up with anger. Lewis keeps talking, speeding up. That was all, but a couple of cycles later, these singers, as you call them, started showing up, and I had to hide myself away. I had to run a data business. Hard to run a data business when you can't even go outside to meet your clients. Where's the data now? Lewis turns to you, seemingly glad not to have to look at the angry Eugen. I have it, don't you worry, Lewis smiles. It comes with a hell of a story. A friend I showed it to, he told me he's heard about that ship before. Mostly what he thought were rumors about a fraction drive ship. Apparently, when Solheim collapsed, there was a struggle over who got to take it. 2 execs from the old corporate hierarchy wanted it, and some of their underlings found out about it too. Those wrecks you visited? That was the sign of a battle over the thing. The ship was a hot ticket even then. You think back to the twisted and blasted remains of the ships, the wreckage strewn about across the asteroid. You wonder how many died to try to get the Aphelion Path and its golden drive. Seems like both execs got spaced, but someone came back later, slipped the ship out of the wreck that was carrying it. Here's the funny thing. Rather than use it, they dismantled it, took the ship apart here at the Hollow. Hell, there's probably strut work from the Aphelion Path in this very station. Lewis looks around at the salvage compartment you were all inside. So it's gone. Not quite, Lewis smiles, enjoying telling the story now. They weren't stupid enough to dismantle an interstellar drive. The story goes that they buried it on a rock out in the shoals, totally unmarked. With thousands of rock out there, they could leave it as long as they wanted and come back when they were ready. Thing is, they never came back. Eugen finishes the sentence, his anger fading now. Bingo! Louis drives as he holds up a thumbnail drive. And I've got the coordinates of the beacon that will lead you there. Eugen snatches it from his fingers. Should have led with that. Louis sighs deeply. That's just the start of the trail, no doubt. It'll get you there if you manage to follow it. Eugen nods at you and goes to leave, his hands immediately on the container hatch. Hey, Louis rushes up. Are you gonna pay for that? Not after you leaked the fraction drive. That the fraction drive exists to your friend, the singers, and anyone else who's looking, no. Eugen pulls the door open. Keep it quiet next time. Lewis turns to you. Come on, friend. The singers chased away my clients. He shows you upturned palms. 50 cryo for the effort. Just whatever you have. I'll take it. I'm desperate. You pass him a stack of chits and he clasps your hand. I appreciate it. He looks over your shoulder to see if Eugen is still there. Hey look, be careful with that one, alright? He's not to be trusted. You turn and Eugen is already gone. You follow him out of the container. Time to go find a fraction drive. Eugen, you're not making a good case for yourself right now, young man. The Aphelion Beacon. Oh. He's engaged in Endure. That's my thing. Engage in Endure is my thing. We'll take Bliss. We're coming up on the beacon site now. Seraphim brings the ship into place. Signal's pretty weak, though. He turns in his chair. Which is what you get for chasing 10,000-year-old leads that got a lot of people killed. So to explain the situation to Seraphim, he hasn't gotten any more enthusiastic about the job. Especially as it's a job that comes from Eugen. Seraphim shuts down the engine and turns to Eugen. Time for you to go have a poke around in those rocks. He waves a hand at the scattering of the asteroids. Enjoy. Eugen barely seems to notice the sarcasm. A kind of fixed determination has come over him since you left the Hollow. It's not something you've seen before. Let's suit up and find the beacon. He pats you on the shoulder. Louis said it's the first of a trail. So the faster we locate this one and get ourselves pointed to the next, the better. Enough messing around. He kicks off and glides out of the cockpit, heading straight for the airlock. Not the most attractive of locales, Bliss smiles as they nods toward the sparse gray rocks. But we should keep our eyes open anyway. Those that leave trails like this leave traps too. Never worked on a fraction drive before. This thing turns out to be real. I caught shotgun digging it around in its guts. They wink and follow Eugen. It's just you and Seraphim left in the cockpit. He taps at the console, ignoring. You think this is a bad idea? Seraphim turns to me. Me? He mockingly puts a finger on his own chest. Look, he gets serious for a second. People have been searching for this thing since the Fulheim collapse, but a lot of desire just directed at one hidden drive. Objects like that tend to get people in trouble, Seraphim sighs, at least in my experience. So take it slow. Keep your eyes on Eugen. Seraphim turns his eyes back on the console, busying himself with diagnostics. You turn and leave the cockpit, your mind on the beacon, and the trail that should, all being well, end up taken out of the entire solar system. Oh baby, endure! Born to endure! Decrypt signal. Decrypt signal. Okay, we're gonna do a push. And Lamau Bliss has 2 6s now. It's so awesome. Alright. Alright, Eugen, you're gonna try to do something. Hey, good job. End cycle. Explore. Decrypt signal. The beacon contains the coordinates for the next beacon in the trail. You just need to connect them. We're in. Eugen nods at the data port, deep inside the body of the beacon. He peers through its suit's faceplate at it. You have part of the plating removed, and you're pretty sure you have access to the coordinates you need. All that's left is to slot in a drive. I've got this. Eugen takes out a thumbnail drive and slots it in. Easy as can be. A smile flickers across his face. You peer into the beacon. It's been a delicate job getting the security access and the system knowledge to find the coordinates for the next step. It all seems to have passed without incident. Got it. Eugen pulls the drive and thumps you on the shoulder. Let's head to the next one. Look alive down there, Seraphin's voice comes over the comms. We've got a ship on approach. We need to make ourselves scarce. You and Eugen exchange looks. The singers. You kick off and glide towards the ship, but Eugen goes in the other direction. You wonder what he's doing for a second, and then you see it. He arrives at the beacon and immediately begins laying into the metal shell. He pulls a tool from his suit and caves into the beacon with an anger that chills you. When it's done, the beacon, just another chunk of the breeze in his shoal, he joins you in the cockpit. Seraphin gives you a look, but doesn't say a word. He just silently taps in the new coordinates. You look across at Eugen, his expression fixed and his eyes cold. Then Seraphin fires up the drive. A shrill bleep wakes you from your stargazing. What was that? Seraphin looks around the cockpit as warning lights and sirens sound all over the ship. The terminal screens flicker, some of them not coming back on. You hear a groan from somewhere deep within the ship. Some kind of pulse? An energy weapon? Seraphin slaps the side of his flickering terminal until it stabilizes. On it, you see a red dot moving further away from the center of a circle. A ship is accelerating away. Seraphin taps at the consoles, bringing up the transponder information. He turns to Eugen with a hard stare. It's Vesna. Eugen shakes his head. Got it in one, Seraphin grits his teeth. The Limhound, registered in the far spindle. He slams his fist on the keyboard. How did she find us? How? Because Eugen is a sloppy operator, that's how. Seraphin shakes his head and starts working on the drive system. Now we're stranded. She knocked out our drive. Must have been waiting for us, Seraphin sighs. We'll need to get it activated as quickly as we can. Eugen is up from his seat, peering out the window at the large rock floating just outside. The beacon has to be there. Vesna cracked it and then waited for us to catch up. She was trying to dissuade us. Well, she's done a pretty good job, Seraphin scrolls through the layers of drive diagnostics. Give up now? Eugen glances at now. We're so close. Eugen's right. Seraphin sniffs but says nothing. The Singers are out there too. If we're lucky, they'll cancel each other out. Eugen goes to the leaving cockpit. We decrypt the beacon and fix the drive. No distractions. Eugen kicks off and glides out of the cockpit towards the airlock. Drive is likely just a system problem, Bliss gives you a serious look. We isolate the fault and it shouldn't be an issue, but it isn't going to happen fast. Look, Seraphin turns in the seat. We're in this now. No way back. Only forward. But the moment this goes south, and it will, I'll pull you out and we are leaving. Whether Eugen wants to back out or not, Seraphin meets your eye. He's serious. We won't leave Eugen. What I'm saying, Sleeper, is you won't be given the choice. Seraphin turns back to his console. This, as far as he is concerned, is your problem to fix. Yes, it is! Oh, Eugen, you're not really useful for this. Eugen, can you help with the disabled drive? Yes, you can. Alright. We're gonna make a push. Eugen has 2 6s. Beacon rewired. And today's cycle, and tomorrow we get the rig fired back up and we are out. I kind of expected that to happen, to be honest. 2 6s from Eugen. Seraphin punches the final set of coordinates into his console and runs a fresh set of diagnostics on the rig's drive. Everything comes up green. The atmosphere in the cockpit is tense. None of you know what you might be flying into. Eugen's jaw is set, his eyes on the stars and scattered rocks. His goal is in reach. It's not a goal to be underestimated. A fraction drive, one that can take any ship out of the system and beyond, one that can forge a path through the surrogate systems few can take. Freedom, both from this system's politics and the structures of power that dominate the passage of people through colonized space. The problem with such a lofty ambition is that it's infectious, seductive. It is desirable enough to draw people out, bring them to their absolute limit. You've seen that in Eugen. The Singers, too, are shaped by that desire, and Vesna, the steely-eyed captain, you don't seem to be able to shape. The question is, who will flinch first? Here you are, moored around a remote and airless rock, a scattering of debris concealing an object of great value, and a system spiraling into war. We're the last here, Seraphin shuts down the drive, but at least no one started shooting. Vesna would only kill as a last resort. Eugen looks out at the rock. The Singers I'm less sure about. Reassuring, Seraphin deadpans. So what now? We walk out and start digging? What do you think, Eugen? You turn to face Eugen, but he's already gone. You get after him, Seraphin shakes his head. We're going to keep the rig warm. I get the feeling we're going to be needing it. As you glide out of the cockpit, you hear the airlock cycling. Eugen is already out. You speed up, grabbing a suit and wrestling it on as you head for the airlock. The door hisses open to reveal a sparse landscape. The twisted parts of a facility or ship, corroded beyond recognition, jut up out of the dusty rock. Squinting into the faint and distant sun, you can make out two figures in suits, standing a fair distance apart in the middle of a loose circle of debris. You glide down towards them, specks of loose gravel and decaying metal bouncing off your suit as you do. Now, a voice crackles through your comms as you approach, broadcast over the open channel. None of us want to die out here. You see them now, the two figures. Vesna and the leader of the Singers, Peter! Facing each other across the dusty plain, Vesna's arm jutting out from her body, her hand resting on an object at her hip, a weapon. Keep your distance, Sleeper. Her eyes flick over as you approach. This godforsaken rock is crowded enough as it is. I hate you, Peter. We set here first. The claim is out. We set foot here first. The claim is ours by anyone's judgment. Peter speaks calmly and slowly, his arms at his hip and his palms upturned. Does he have a gun? He doesn't look like he has a gun. And I suspect we were also the best equipped to find a fraction drive and put it to use. Anyone's judgment, Vesna scoffs. Who do you see out here to validate your claim? She gestures at the rock-strewn void with one hand, rather firmly on the grip of her handgun. Sleeper is our witness here, slowly turns to you. I'm sure they will verify our claim. I didn't see who were first. Vesna laughs. At least someone here still has integrity. You look between the two of them, searching their faces for an intent, an opening, anything. Vesna's ocular implants give nothing away, but the visible tension in her gun arm suggests failing patience. Peter, meanwhile, projects an atmosphere considered calm, but there is a violence behind that benign smile, and a crew of singers somewhere out in the dark. So here's my question, Megan. Do we get greedy? Because I don't particularly care for Vesna or Peter. Neither of them seem like great people. I think I want the drive for myself. I can actually confirm that Peter isn't a good person. Yeah, fucking yeah, the drive is mine. The drive is mine. Back off. Vesna raises a single eyebrow above her metal eyes. Then you have to come and take it. Her arm tenses. Oh, I will. The shot is silent, its direction unclear, but its effect is immediate. The side of Vesna's suit explodes in a geyser of escaping oxygen. She spins, clutching at the wound to clamp it closed. As she does, you see the shot grazed her, splitting the suit but leaving her body beneath intact. Might want to run and get that fixed, Vesna. Eugen slips out from the shadow of a piece of debris at the edge of a circle. He holds a long gun at the ship, like a long gun at his hip. Let's all stay calm. Eugen slowly moves closer. You son of a bitch, Vesna is doubled over, unable to take her hands away from the hole in her suit without risking immediate pressurization. Eugen draws alongside you, his eyes still on Peter. Time to turn yourself around, get in that ship of yours, and go back to wherever the hell you crawled out from. You glance at Vesna. There's a sprout of oxygen spewing from her suit, leaking between her figures. She doesn't have long. We can't abandon this claim. Peter shows his open palms. For the Singers to survive, we must leave this system behind. There is no way for us to support ourselves here. The moon is gone. Our moon is gone, eaten up by the war. The belt will be next. You may as well shoot me here if you don't let me take the drive. This is my people's future. Well, Eugen shifts her shoulders. If you insist. Sleeper, we have incoming. A lot of incoming. You glance at Eugen. He is hearing this message too. A whole load of Conway ships are approaching this location. Can we outrun them? I have no idea, but the sooner we leave, the better, Seraphin's voice distorts. Conway's drone ships don't tend to ask questions. You look across at Peter and see his lips moving, but hear nothing. He's talking to his crew. A moment later, you hear a click as he switches back to the open channel. If you heard what I just heard, then you know we're out of time. Peter looks deadly serious now, his face of diplomatic calm having fallen away. We Singers the only crew who can pull the fraction drive out before Conway arrives. There are more of us, and we have the experience. Let us take it. Don't let it fall into the hands of the system's biggest enemy. Sleeper, Seraphin hisses over the comm. Get back to the rig. No, Eugen cuts in. You aren't sure if he's responding to Seraphin, Peter, or both. The drive is ours. I've worked too hard and come too far to let it go now. He raises the long gun to his shoulder. You're all insane, Vesna spits out the words, her voice strained and hoarse. I'll leave you to the graves. She kicks off the rock, arcing towards the crimson shape of the Limhound. Eugen doesn't even watch her go. You see something flaring in his eyes, a dark drive with no other resolution. I'm sorry, Eugen. Take him down. You put your hand on Eugen's shoulder, and his eyes flick to you. You know what it is to be driven, especially towards freedom. Yours is a life where each escape has been earned, both by desire and sheer determination. But you also know how lives are wasted, thrown against the walls that restrain them again and again, only to come apart. You know that determination must be tempered by humanity, by empathy, by care. And in this moment, that is what passes between you and Eugen. Solidarity, empathy, and care. Eugen's resolve crumbles as he turns. You see Peter watching carefully, his eyes flicking between the two of you. When he sees Eugen drop his gun, he nods to you and retreats. There's work to be done. You kick off the rock together, you and Eugen, in silent resignation. Even when you reach the open airlock of the rig, Eugen does not look back. Once your suits are off, you both glide up to the cockpit to find Seraphin rapidly starting the drive. His console screen is filled with red pulses, the signatures of Conway drone ships bearing down on this lonely rock. He glances up as you enter the cockpit and says nothing. You are thankful for that, at least. There is no time for glib remarks. You take one last look at the Aphelion Path's final resting place. Across its surface, black-suited singers, like a small army of ants, industriously work to excavate and extract the fraction drive. In the face of the inhuman and cruel arm of Conway Extractions, it is hard not to wish them well. May their freedom buy them the future that you were not able to claim. And then the drive kicks in, and you leave the singers to their fate. The ship is quiet as you dock with the Hollow, no one eager to speak about what happened out there in the shoals. Even Seraphim is silent, tapping away at the engine shutdown with comfortingly routine motions. Eugen broods at the back of the cockpit, looking drained and pale. You know it will take him some time to come back from this, to extract himself from the hole of that fraction drive that dream held over him. You wonder if he ever will, or if the freedom that object represented to him will haunt him for the remains of his life. You know at least that now is not the time to try to discuss it, to lay out exactly what happened out there. Eugen will retreat, of course, hiding beneath the glib personality you have come to recognize as his shield. Or perhaps as cycles past, he will find himself changed. Perhaps not. Either way, there is much to be done, and this thankless adventure has derailed you enough. Time to get back to work. Find the good, the bad, and the Eugen. Find the fraction drive without losing Eugen. He wasn't, they said Eugen was not to be trusted. That's what they said, but I really do think Eugen wanted to make good for lying to us. I don't think Eugen's a bad guy. But I do believe my friend. And Megan, I know you did actually. Megan, you did just get here. You just got here, Megan. And I know you did. And I know you did, Megan. But that's going to be the end of our stream today. As always, I hope you have enjoyed. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Wait, yes, Megan.